Welcome, Tiffany.
Hi.
So, I'm Alvin for anyone that doesn't know, but we have Tiffany here. She's a mindset coach, realtor, just overall badass.
Oh,
But I'm super excited to have her on here because every time I talk to her, just a lot of really great nuggets and a lot of things to reflect on and really um, dive in and put things in action in order to get your life even better than it was. So that's why I love having her on here. And I feel like everything that we talk about is super relatable and that could be, applied, and maybe someone out there can find it very valuable as well. So, welcome,
yes.
welcome, welcome, Tiffany. Maybe
Thank
a little
you.
bit about yourself for anyone that is just now tuning in.
Yes. Well, I'm going to say that before we get started, there's just one exercise that I like to do. So if everybody could do it with us, it's just a way of kind of calming the nerves because we are live and also just being present together. So we're just going to do 3 deep breaths all together and then we'll get started if that's okay. Let's go ahead and go in through your nose, and then you're going to hold and go out through your mouth. So go ahead and in through your
Okay.
nose, hold, out through your mouth. That's one. One more in through your nose. Hold out through your mouth. And then we're going to do one more in through your nose. Hold and out through your mouth.
That was great. I was feeling a little bit of anxiety and nervousness. So,
Right?
that calmness was awesome. Thank you for that.
Yeah. And so you could
So,
do that anytime, guys.
oh gosh, I love it. Okay,
Yeah.
now I
So,
feel more calm.
yeah, much better, right? And so my name is Tiffany Perkins. I have been really passionate about mindset probably my whole life. But really since COVID, I mean, there was nothing else to do except for self improvement. So went through some really dark places, and I feel like I learned that my greatest gift to the world is being able to help you guys see life in a different way. And I don't think I really realized that I do see things differently than other people until COVID happened, because I was basically positive almost the entire time through.
That's amazing because that those were dark times. Everywhere you see is negative. Media was negative. People,
Mhm.
was just a lot of fear all around. So that's so awesome to even think during COVID you had that type of mindset already. So,
Yeah.
for anyone that's watching, I invite you guys to go ahead and share your recent transitions, or if you are facing any challenges, down in the chat. That way, we can kind of view and discuss it together. Um, so, to get started, is there a personal story that you'd like to share that brought significant life change, and how did you navigate through it?
Um, Well, throughout my life, I've had like significant changes, but it's kind of funny we're having this talk today because Chris and I were talking about becoming parents. And so that was probably the scariest thing ever. I didn't even know if I wanted to be a mom. So finding out I was pregnant was just such a huge change. Not only that, I had just lost my job, University of Phoenix was closing. So I had no idea how I was going to support myself, a baby, and at the time I couldn't even keep a plant alive. Like I think my dogs made it because they would tell me like food, water, but plants weren't even living. So that was probably such a huge life change, is being responsible for another human, figuring out like how I was going to support us, and here we are like 11 years later. And I feel like being a mom is like the biggest gift I could have ever received, and it's just I find joy in it every day, like every single day.
Absolutely. And same with me. I think one of the biggest life changing event for me was when I became pregnant at 19 and I
Yeah.
got disowned and I had to figure things out myself. And that was, if I was able to get through that time and I didn't think I was going to have to, face adulthood at such a
So
young age
soon.
because I felt like I was such a baby and I felt like I was just a baby about to raise a baby, type of things. All those fears and anxiety was there. And yeah, um, that was probably one of the most challenging moment of my life, and being able to navigate through that was definitely life
Yeah.
changing.
And so you can look back now and see like what an incredible gift that was, right? Because how strong are you? Like, is there anything that's going to be as scary as being a 19-year-old disowned mother? Like, probably not, right? Like, it's pretty safe to say that there's not very much that's going to scare you at this point.
Yes, like I remember even like little moments of hardships during that time where I was like, if I'm able to get through this, I can get through whatever life throws at
Anything.
me. Yeah, pretty much, you know. Yeah.
Well, and
Pretty
isn't it
much so.
too? It's amazing what we're capable of when we're put in those situations.
Yeah, definitely life tests, like would so when I left my home, I only had a purse with me, and I didn't have any clothes, nothing. So, looking back through it, my daughter now is 15 years old.
Yeah,
Like I was able to get through that. Now I know whatever life throws at me, I can, you know, get through it day by day. And I know no matter who you are, I know people are going through challenges or even transitions in life, no matter who you are as a person.
yeah,
Do you share it? Not a lot of people do, but I
yeah.
know people go through things um, every day.
Every day.
Yep.
And it's
So
all
for
in how you look at it because
mhm.
somebody else that has been in your exact situation has become a victim to it, right? It's the reason why they haven't been able to achieve everything. And instead, you've made it the reason why you are achieving everything, right? Like, so it's just perspective. And even when we're looking at using words like challenging, does it have to be a challenge or can it be an opportunity? Can it be an opportunity to do something different, an opportunity to do something better, an opportunity to step out of our box? And just by switching those words, it's not going to be as challenging because now you're looking at it from a different perspective.
I love that. And I feel like that's something even I can practice
Mhm.
instead of like thinking challenge, think as opportunities. So that's awesome that you say that, because a lot of people get stuck with just the challenge portion and not seeing through the opportunity that comes after that.
Yeah.
So, okay, how do you personally navigate the fear of like the unknown? The unknown and embracing that change, because a lot of people I feel like get stuck with that portion.
Yeah. Well, for one, fear is just false expectations appearing real, right?
Hmm.
Fear is just a story you're telling yourself. You're telling yourself all of the reasons that it's not going to work out. It's not really real. I mean, the exact opposite can be true, right? It's just you're
Hmm.
choosing to focus on the false expectations appearing real. So that's one thing I do is I challenge myself to think that wait a minute, and that's not the truth. That's not true. The truth is that I'm going to be successful or this is going to happen, and I tell myself stories. And people may think it's delusional. I don't. I think it's how you train your brain. And I'll do meditations. I'll do exercises too, like what I put you through in one of my workshops, where we took the ego side. Well, if we first pictured somebody we love, but we took the ego side of all of the reasons telling us we couldn't do it, right? And that's just, it's nothing bad. It's just keeping you safe. It's just serving a good purpose. So instead of looking at the ego as horrible, it's not. It's great. But then you have this other side, all of the reasons that could make it, and then you marry them together, right? And they work together for the greatest good of what you want to achieve. So that's another exercise that you can do. Um, I do so much because I just think your brain is so important and it's how you look at life. It's why I am so happy all the time.
I love it. You definitely bright up the room, and every time I talk or see you, it's like, Tiffany.
I
You
go
just have
into
that
the way
aura.
though. It's so fun.
So, how do you think? What's the importance of like community and seeking support? Because a lot of people have that um, trouble with asking for help or seeking for support.
Well, I think that you have to be careful who you ask for help. And the reason being is a lot of the time we're turning to the people that we're comfortable with, and the people that we're comfortable with aren't always the best for us. And what I
Mhm.
mean by that is if you're trying to improve yourself, then you should be surrounding yourself with people that have the things that you want to achieve or the mindset that you want to achieve. And too often we turn to the people that have the negative outlook on life, and then they're helping you to be a
Yeah.
victim. So I would say that you're more powerful than you think. Okay. And everything you need is inside of you. So bringing that out, maybe getting a book that helps you ask yourself questions to figure out the root, right? Um, Turning to somebody that is like one of us, right? That we're very upbeat, we're very positive, and asking what steps you can take to get to where you want to be. Um, that would be, I mean, you're afraid of, I guess the question would be is what are you afraid of when you reach out to somebody, right? Like I can
Mhm.
promise you without a doubt 100% guarantee that somebody has gone through something difficult. Somebody has gone through a challenge that they were embarrassed to talk about. And most people, once you open up to them, they won't mind, especially people that have overcome it. They're not going to
Mhm.
mind telling you how they overcame it. It's just, are you willing to do the steps that they took to overcome it? Is the true question.
Yes. Okay, I love that. And I love that you mentioned book because I feel like books is a powerful thing too. So, um, awesome. How do you think someone can start to reframe a difficult transition as the opportunity for growth?
Well, first, just being aware of your thoughts. So, being aware that you think it's going to be difficult and just saying, you know what, it doesn't have to be. And you don't always have to believe it for it to be true, right? So, we know that. You can look back on your life and see
Yep.
stages of that. Um, Awareness will always be the number one thing that you can do. So, just seeing, like, oh, there's that negative thought, telling yourself, thank you. Like, thank you for that thought. Thank you for trying to keep me safe. But instead, I'm going to choose to think that everything is going to work out for me for the greatest good of all. I am going to choose, instead of thinking that it's going to fall apart, that it's actually all just falling perfectly together. So you're reframing those thoughts. And at first, you're going to feel crazy. We all do. Like, right? Like, I don't think people talk about the fact that we feel weird when we're doing it, but we also know that it works.
I feel weird all the time because I feel like I talk to myself because I'm driving by myself, but then like you said, it starts with your thoughts and awareness, and I'm like, Alvin, like
Yeah.
I find
Pull
myself
it
talking to
together.
my like you got this, so I find myself being weird and crazy because I'm talking to myself, but that's part of what you're saying is being self-aware.
Yeah.
Would you say part of awareness is doing practices like daily practices like what you mentioned on our past live is reflection, right? Or
Mhm.
writing down gratitudes. Like, would you say that would be part of training yourself to become self-aware?
Yeah. And I think that, you turn onto YouTube and there's 100 different ways of doing it. And I would say, don't be intimidated by that.
Yeah.
Find something that works for you. There's so many options because it's not a one size fits all
Yeah.
because we're individual. So, whether it be, I think meditation's great. There's different types of meditation. One might not work for you, another one would. I did horrible with transcendental meditation. It gave me really bad anxiety, so I don't do that type anymore. But I do other types of meditation and hypnosis. I've done journaling. I mean, whatever you need to do, affirmations are
That.
huge. People do visualization.
Mm-hmm.
Find something that you can at least commit to. They say 66 days. I know everybody's heard 21 days to make a habit.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually incorrect. Although I do believe you can speed it up if you believe that.
Mm-hmm. There you
But I
go.
would say at least try something for 66 days. And it doesn't have to be really long. It can be a 30-second visualization. It can be just being aware throughout the day and taking a deep breath. Like
Yeah.
right now, we could just do, and you're going to be more aware than you were a minute ago, right? You're going to be present. So there's
Yep.
things that just pick something. Pick something that feels good to you and do it.
I love that. And then for you, what's your go-to tip for staying grounded when you feel like things are being uncertain at the moment?
Oh, I just have faith. I truly believe that everything is always happening for the greater good in my life, no
Mm,
matter what I'm going through. And that doesn't mean I do have difficult times, but I believe that I'm having that difficult time because something great is coming. And so I almost get kind of excited. Um, I cold plunge, and I swear to you that really does keep me grounded. It helps my anxiety levels. Um, and I do meditation. So it's really a combination. I'm always working on myself. It's never something that's not going to be complete. But those are my probably my three main things.
I love that. And I feel like that's where people are struggling to find time or, or reason or I feel like there's a lot of excuses, right? When people say, "Oh, how do I stay positive and stuff like that?" But you just mentioned it. You just mentioned how it is work. It is personal development, right? And it's an
It's effort.
everyday thing, and it's yeah, definitely a lot of effort. So I love that you share that. So for anyone that's struggling with negativity or just getting out of your head and having that limiting belief, get with Tiffany, talk to her. Like I feel like
Get
the
with
moment you
me.
talk to her, you'll get to realize things that you're probably not doing, and do the little things that could help you grow and start having more positivity in your thoughts, because like I said, that's the number one thing, is having that positive mindset or believing and having faith you can do something, and you will, because that's the power of your mind.
Yeah. It all goes together. And I will say, if you're afraid to reach out to me or whatever it may be, there's something that you can always do. And that's just go back and self reflect on your life and find the blessings that have occurred previously for you through those
Yeah,
challenges. Because there's always a blessing, and that could be a lesson. But I mean, even God's rejection is God's protection, right? So you can look back at your life and realize the things that you really wanted to work out that fell apart. God, there was such a better reason, right? Like, at least I think we all have scenarios that we can do that in our life.
that's awesome. And 100% correct. If I'm reflecting right now with all the challenges that I've been through and where I felt like the lowest, something greater happened right after. It might have not been like a week after, a month later, maybe even a year later, but something even more amazing happened from the challenges or things that brought me to my lowest point, like here mentally or whatnot. So I love that you say that.
Yeah. And you
Can
learn
you,
straight,
yeah.
right?
Could you share like a specific example of when, a specific time when embracing change led to an unexpected happiness for you?
Gosh, there is a lot of them. Well, I can use like my most recent
Okay.
because I was with my old brokerage for a lot of years. And so work took up a lot of my life. I was
Mhm.
working, 50 plus hours a week.
Yeah.
I had multiple job descriptions, whatever. Okay. It was a lot. And some things happened. It ended up falling apart. I walked away. And when I walked away, I didn't really have anything. I mean, I had like my house and stuff, but I didn't have a huge cushion for the family. But I knew that I needed to go. Like I wasn't meant to be there anymore. And honestly, I was afraid of what the universe was going to do to me if I, if I didn't finally listen. Okay. There was signs. Um, that was probably it was terrifying. I remember leaving and just like really being like, scared of how
Terrified.
things were going to work. And
Yeah.
I can tell you that it's been maybe like 6 months now,
Yeah.
around that. And I have never been happier. I mean, I'm still putting together the financial pieces, which is fine because money always comes. Trust me. It's come, it's gone. It'll continue to come anyway. But I've never been happier. I'm not stressed out. I haven't been sick. I was sick every single month
Oh no.
for years, like for seriously years. I
Wow.
started to get boils. I had immune disease, and I haven't had any
I
of that.
remember that.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
Oh my
I had
goodness.
chronic fatigue for 2 years where I could barely get out of bed. My testosterone was extremely low. So since leaving, I haven't been sick. I think I've had like one stomach bug, but it wasn't even that bad. I was over it in less than 24 hours. I've had no boils. I haven't had anxiety, like the extreme depression. I haven't had any of that. And so that would be such an extreme case of walking away from something that was structured. It was safe. I had financial stability coming in, and just said, F it. Like, I would much rather be with my family. And honestly, their health has never been better. They've never been happier. So I know the energy I was bringing to the home was actually contagious to the people in my life. And now I feel great and I'm excited about the future. And I just know, like, really, I can't explain it, but I know, like, really great things are about to happen.
I feel it too. I feel it in my bones. And I know
Yeah.
we talked about it when I saw you at the Christmas party. I'm like, 2025 is going to be amazing.
It's just,
I can
yeah.
feel it.
And you feel it. You feel it. And I would tell people too, like, you can feel the goodness. Like, if you just focus, you know good things are coming, right? So pay attention.
100%. Okay, so for closing, what's your message to someone who feels stuck or even paralyzed by that fear of change?
Mhm. Well, the biggest way of overcoming fear is by going through it. So you have to want it bad enough to make the change. So you're going to make a choice. You're going to either decide to go through and you're going to hit your rock bottom, and we're going to let you do that because that's the gift of life, because then you're going to come out at the other side. But I would say, like, what do you have to lose? Especially if you have nothing. Okay. If you
Yeah.
already have nothing, like, what are you doing? You don't have anything to lose anyway. So get out there, right? The worst thing that could do is you're going to still have nothing. That's not horrible. But the best thing you could do is you're going to get out of your comfort zone and you're going to realize that, oh my God, I can do this. And if it's not this, then I can do something else. And why wouldn't you want to give that gift to yourself? Why don't you want to give yourself the gift of life and growth?
There you go. I feel like people are, this is your goal and this is fear, and people don't want to go past that because of, fear, but it's literally on your reach. You just got to go through and get past your fear
Yeah.
and go after it, and just like you said, if you have nothing, what is there to lose? So,
Like, if you're living at home with your parents and you actually have more than a lot of people, right?
yes.
You have the stability of, if you fail, you still have somewhere to stay. There's people out there that don't even have that are pushing ahead and making a future. So, and figure out your fears. Like, what are you so afraid of, right? Like, write them down, because I think as you say them out loud or you write them down, like, they start to sound a little wild, right? And then you can write down the opposite, because the opposite can also be true. And then just start deleting that negative thought and just start focusing on the positive over and over again.
Agree. All right, Tiffany, I love everything that we discuss, and I feel like it's so
Yeah.
relatable. And everyone, deals with change, transitions, and all that stuff. And the things that we talked about and how we can overcome it and be more aware is just so powerful. And I hope if anyone is watching now or later, they can really like dissect what you just said. And if they're having issues, well, not even issues, but like, um, problems and figuring things out, to reach to you. You're very easy to talk to, and you're able to um really what do you call it,
Get to
dissect
the
every
root.
yeah, get to the root
To
of the
the
problem.
root.
There you
We
go.
we don't fuck around. I don't tend to, and that is something you should know about me if you reach out to me. Is it's Tiff Truths for a reason, and I tell you things that will help you. They might be hard to hear at first, but
Yeah.
I promise in the end, it'll be a blessing. I promise.
Your
So,
most recent video about 3 ways to get your husband. Amazing. So true. And I love it. I love it. I love it so much. So if you guys are not following her, follow her. She's on Facebook and Instagram. And another, thing that I want to challenge the viewers is write down one positive thing about your recent life change and just keep it visible for this week. There,
yeah.
always find the joy, always find the positive, and always find what's working, because if you stick with that negativity will find you. So that's all. And happy
Yeah.
holidays. I'm glad you were able to hop on. It's going to be Christmas, so I'm not going to have Woman in Business Wednesday, so we have motivational Monday today.
Motivational Monday. I like it. And I'm excited for the new year. Happy holidays.
Yes, happy
I'm
new
sure I'll see
year.
you soon.
2025 will be amazing. Bye, guys.
Perfect. Bye.